What's up, everybody? Dark Cosmic here, back with another astrology video. So this is going to be the last ascendant video that I'm going to make. It's stopping at Libra. So I'm glad I got to do all of them finally, and now we get to talk about other things in astrology as well. So Libra ascendants. What I like to do is I like to go into the 12th house first, and then after that, I go into your first house. The reason why I go into the 12th house first is I would like to describe your subconscious mind to sort of set the tone, because there's like a dualistic nature of the 12th and the first house, where it's kind of like a conscious self and a subconscious self. So let's begin. So the 12th house, Libra ascendants have Virgo. So subconsciously, Libra ascendant people, you guys are subconsciously extremely judgmental. Subconsciously, you are realist. You subconsciously, you're not very. You are not very easy to tell a fairy tale story to, and then you will believe it. Like, you subconsciously, you're intelligent. You're very intelligent. You're very aware of what reality is. Subconsciously speaking, you may bash spirituality, or you may not believe in spirituality subconsciously. Some part of you doesn't believe fully into spirituality, even astrology. I might be saying this to you right now, and there's a part of you that's like, some of this stuff is full of shit. I don't really know. Because you might be the types that subconsciously you need things to be proved in reality first. So that might be your personality on a subconscious level, and you don't know you're doing that. Like, let's say a situation comes up where it's causing you to believe. You subconsciously stop yourself from believing in things because you need proof all the time. So, which is not either a good or a bad thing. That's just the nature of Virgo. So, but also at the same time, subconsciously, you are a very helpful person. Subconsciously, you are a very routine-based individual. You have routines that you might not be consciously aware of, but you do things. If somebody were to watch you for a whole day, you have a rhythm in which you do the same thing over and over and over again. And you might not be aware of it, but other people are aware of your subconscious behavior, your routines. Subconsciously, you might have routines that are based around health. So you maybe subconsciously you make the right decisions when it comes to health. Subconsciously, you make the right decision when it comes to advancing yourself in your career. So subconsciously, you are. This connects to your first house being a Libra ascendant, because Libra is a sign of balance. So subconsciously, you have a critical sign, because you are a sign of balance that is constantly trying to calculate whether something is right or wrong. So you are very critical, subconsciously speaking, always calculating. So let's go back to the first house. So with Libra in your first house, you guys are very you guys come off as very likable people, likable, even lovable people. You guys can come off as people that are eccentric. You guys can come off as people that are a little soft and weak-willed. You guys can come off as overly ambitious, overly aggressive people as well, because Libra sometimes has to overcompensate for what they appear to be. The sun sign, you will see that the sun sign Libras, even moon sign Libras, they be ambitious as fuck, like and damn near, and really hard on themselves too, because they have to overcompensate for not having that natural passion that Aries has. So going back to the first house, so you may either A, you come off as a pushover, or B, you come off as an overly ambitious individual, an overly aggressive type of person. So it depends on which one you fall on. But normally speaking, your personality will seem very balanced. So you'll try to, or at least you'll try to display that. So you are either the extremes, a Libra that's displaying the extremes because they feel they lack on that spectrum within themselves, or B, you are just a balanced personality. You're neither a hothead or a super calm person. You know how to flow when it comes to your personality. Your personal life, you are probably seen as a person that may be an artist. In your personal life, you might be you probably deal with a lot of women. Might have a lot of sisters, or in your personal life, if you're a guy, you like to deal with a lot of women, or you like the company of women versus men. In your personal life, your personal life is full of women or full of beauty in some way. Your personal life, you probably deal with a lot of situations and where you lie a lot, or people lie to you a lot. Why is this? Because Libra is a people-pleasing sign, and they'll lie for the greater truth, for the greater outcome, I guess, of a situation. So personally, you might be a liar. Libra even has the word lie in it with the L-I, but just saying. No offense to Libras. But you guys can be liars. Which is, it's in the nature of Libra, because you're trying to be fair and trying to get the best possible outcome all the time. So let's move from the first house. Let's go into the second house. So the second house, you guys have Scorpio. So with Scorpio in your second house, when it comes to your stability, the way you survive, the things that bring you comfort. What comforts you is sex. Fucking brings you comfort. What else comforts you guys? Deep and stimulating conversations or situations brings you guys comfort. What else brings you guys comfort? Let's go back to survival. When it comes to survival, you guys might not be the best at surviving. Just gonna be honest. You guys might have a lot of problems when it comes to surviving, or you guys find ways to survive off of other people. You guys find ways to benefit off of other people, or people are benefiting off of you. With the Scorpio energy in the second house, Scorpio doesn't want to be there. It's like you don't have the necessary tools to survive, but you have to use what you got to survive. So it can be an uncomfortable situation here. When it comes to your survival, you probably grew up in a situation where things were really unfair and difficult for you, and you had to figure that shit the fuck out. And you probably didn't figure it out. You probably ended up on the other side not figuring it out, and it scarred you, and now you're trying your best to find balance in your life. So but yeah, Scorpio here does not equate to balance. Or it's either A, it was like that for you, or B, you were the one that was balanced and people were leeching off of you. You had scorpionic type, vampire type people that were leeching off you. What else? When it comes to money, you guys probably aren't the best at saving your money. You guys probably waste money on sex, prostitutes, porn subscriptions, just as a guy paying for beautiful women to go out with you, just for the company of them, or just being a simp basically and paying for the company of women. But it doesn't even have to be a prostitute, just giving them nice gifts and stuff just because you want the company of beautiful women, all in the name of just being in that sex energy. But I don't want to go too much in that realm of sex, but with Scorpio in the second house, yeah, you have the potential to transform your situation though. You have a strong, because with that balanced nature in your first house, you have a very powerful potential to completely transform and do a 360 on your situation. You could have started broke and now you're rich. You could have started off being, maybe you were sexually abused and this and that, and now you are the person that's helping people with their sexually abused, and you're talking to them about that, and you're helping them out in their life. You could have started out from shit, odds against you, and you found the balance within the darkness. So let's go with let's go to the third house. So in the third house, you guys have Sagittarius. So when it comes to your neighborhood, when it comes to your siblings, when it comes to your the skills you may have, and your communication as well, you guys are seen as Sagittarius doesn't like to be in the third house as well. So you guys might seem as, no offense, you guys might seem a little dumb here, and the reason why you might seem dumb is not because you're dumb. It's because when it comes to the more logical things when it comes to the more logical things like knowing facts and whatnot, you guys probably appeal more to wisdom and philosophy. So people probably misunderstand you because you're trying to find a grand philosophy about things, because you perceive that to be balanced versus only knowing the facts and all that. So you guys may be perceived as a little like an airhead, come off as an airhead to people, or come off as not serious in these more serious and black and gray matters. Or your siblings were like that. Your siblings were very happy-go-lucky, silly, airhead type individuals that didn't seem to give a fuck. And your communication style might have been very preachy and always trying to do the right thing. What else? Third house, Sagittarius. I think I'm gonna leave it at that. But basically, this is the energy of a philosopher, basically a right-brained individual in a left-brain setting. So it's like somebody who loves the arts, loves philosophy, but now they're stuck in a math and English class. So, it might have been. It was difficult here for you probably, or if it wasn't difficult for you guys, the people around you were like that. The people around you emphasized philosophy and all these other things, and while you were like, I don't care about that stuff. You guys be logical with me, make sense. Stop talking to me about the God and the Bible and this stuff. You guys ain't making no sense. I'm about that logic. You see, that you was one or the other. You was the individual that didn't like the logical aspect of life, or you dealt with a lot of people like that and it really turned you off. And you had siblings that were like that too, preachy and Bible peddlers and all that types, religious types. Okay, let's leave that alone. Let's go to the one last thing about that placement. This placement, it still has a great potential to be incredibly wise if you master both energies. If you master having wisdom and knowledge, then you will become incredibly wise, aka extremely balanced. You have both signs in that placement as well, because you have the high potential to be extremely balanced. This kind of sets the tone of your chart. You have a dualistic nature to you because you have the potential to balance both sides of the same coin. So that's why you would even have that placement in the first place, is because it is your job to find the balance between wisdom and knowledge, not just be on one side or the other. So let's go to the fourth house. So the fourth house, you guys have Capricorn. So in the house of Cancer, relating to the family, the mother, your inner emotions. Your mother might have been really cold to you. Your mother might have not been very loving in the way that you think you should have been loved. Your mother might have just tried to put a roof over your head, or just try to make sure that you were taken care of, but not in a way of like, I'm gonna give you hugs and kisses in case your boo-boos, this and that, make sure, but just make sure you had just make sure that you was taken care of in a way, in more of a financial way. Maybe your mother wasn't around. Maybe your mother was always working. Or when it comes to your nourishment and the love that the mother energy was supposed to provide in your family, it wasn't like that. You felt like your family were all kind of like about business all the time. Or you yourself are carrying that energy. You yourself were perceived to be very businesslike and not loving, and just kind of like, instead of saying I love you, I will pay you. I'll give you some money. Instead of saying I need you, I will just, I don't know. It's kind of like Capricorn is not a very emotional sign. They would rather do something else to express an emotion. This is why Capricorn, you have a lot of, I noticed there's a theme here. You have Capricorn in the 4th house. There's a theme of having signs that don't belong. And the reason why you had that is because 1st house personality, and I'm going to go right back to the 1st house, having Libra in the 1st house completely flips the whole thing on its head, because Aries is supposed to be there. So Libra hates being in the 1st house. Having a Libra personality is actually is a negative in astrology, but it's not. It's a negative, but it's not really a negative. There's no real negative, but it's a negative if you don't know how to master it. So having a Libra there is a negative because you have a personality of somebody that is fake. You might come off as fake. You might come off as ingenuine and not using your personality for what it should be. You're not like, my shirt says I am. It's not I am for you. It's let's find the balance. It's never I am, which is actually preferred way to have a personality is about I am. So back to your 4th house, Capricorn there. You're there, like that energy there is for you to find the balance, really. You have to find a balance between, expressing yourself emotionally, but at the same time being practical and handling situations in a practical manner as well. What else? You might have been employed by your mother. You might have employed your mother. You probably came from a family full of entrepreneurs. You might have been perceived from your family as an entrepreneur. The way that you guys express affection is by working for each other. The way you express affection to your family might have been by working for them in some way, doing something for them rather than doing something for them in a financial way, rather than actually being there for them emotionally. So, give them a hug and doing something very, more gushy and Cancer-like. So let's leave the 4th house alone. Let's go to the 5th house. So the 5th house, you guys have Aquarius. Again, here's the theme. Aquarius hates to be in the 5th house. Your whole chart is nothing but planets that hate to be in the house that they're in. So whole chart's like that. So Aquarius hates to be in the 5th house because the 5th house is about self-centeredness. It's about family. It's about romanticism. It's about children. Not that Aquarius hates these things, but its views on these things aren't always the best. Its views on these things, because Aquarius can be a very detached energy, a very group, and not the pride, but the group. Instead of like this, my individual family, it's more like the community. So there's a lack of affection there. So there's a lack of personable energy there. Why? Because Libra wants to find the balance. That's why they don't want to be too personable with people. But in regards to romanticism, you guys probably prefer people that are, more about community and more about, the group, the bigger group, rather than personable acquaintances and whatnot. You prefer people that have that type of mentality. You prefer people that are intellectually stimulating. You prefer people that are very unique in their style, very uniquely creative. They do a strange type of art. They don't just do art. They do a weird art. Like, I don't know, I'm just pulling something from completely left field. Maybe they hang themselves on, what's it called? Because they do suspension. Crazy shit. Aquarius is into bizarre shit. Like, so maybe they're into suspension. Maybe they do just any kind of bizarre art to you. That's what's gonna make you fall in love with that individual for some reason. You're gonna be into that. You're gonna find people like that more attractive than just your average Joe. Somebody that's really into that type of stuff, or just somebody who just thinks weird, thinks strange, but at the same time isn't crazy. It's a good kind of crazy. It's kind of like, wow, I never heard anybody talk like that. I never heard anybody move like that, express themselves in that kind of way. You're very unique. So you're going to be more attracted to people like that. When it comes to your kids, you might have very unique children. You might have children, and when I say you might have children that are unique, you might have kids that are bisexual. You might have kids that grow up to be bisexual, homosexual. You might have kids that, if they're not like that, you might have kids that are just uniquely talented in areas that you would never have think like they're good at. For some reason, this kid is incredibly talented in mathematics. This kid is an incredible artist. You know, like, your kids are going to be very different. Just know that. Or your kids might perceive you to be very bizarre, but fair. As a parent, just know that your kids are going to come out as very unique and strange individuals. What else? When it comes to your entertainment, you are entertained by the unusual. You are entertained by groups or being a part of groups and organizations. You are entertained by unique experiences in general. You want to do different things. You want to go to places and find the uniqueness in that location. You don't want to just go to a restaurant and try the same thing on the menu. You want to try the most bizarre thing, maybe. So let me go to, or if you go to watch a movie, you want to watch a very bizarre type of movie. You don't want to really watch like just the regular thing everybody says is a great movie. You want to go watch that strange indie film that everybody says go watch. That's what you want to go watch. So let's go to the 6th house. 6th house, you guys have you have Pisces in the 6th house. So with Pisces in the 6th house, Pisces hates to be in the 6th house. So you don't really like routine. Go figure. You don't really like routine in the workplace. You probably have a hard time dealing with that. You probably have a hard time because you feel like it unbalances you, I guess, in a way. Having Pisces there, you don't feel like it's fair that you have to work. You would rather be in your daydreams and express yourself in a creative manner. So sometimes work can feel like a big chore to you guys. Because having a Libra ascendant, it's all Libra energy is about the pleasures, man. It's about the finer things in life. It's about enjoying myself. It's about having this wine, having this beautiful girl, or if you're a girl, having this handsome guy and enjoying their company. That's what it's about. It's not about, it's about having nice clothes on, feeling the material. It's about sniffing the flowers. It's not about work. Fuck work. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, I gotta go to work. Like, that Libra ascendants don't really like work. Now, if you do like work, people probably perceive you to be just a really kind and sweet person and a very spiritual person in the work environment. And but they probably also perceive you to be kind of a slow person in the work environment, in terms of like you don't really quite get things fast enough in their mind. You don't really get things quick enough. Again, I think it's because you're trying to find a balance all the time. So in routines, you're like, I shouldn't have to do this all the time, every single day. There has to be a balance where I can just escape. So that's probably why you don't see work and routine as fair all the time. Pisces rules the feet, so you might have problems with your feet, health problems with your feet, or you might be in a field in which you help people. You might be in a field in which you help people with their feet. Is it called? I forgot the name of it. Those doctors that deal with the feet. And if that's not the case, what else? But overall, I would say you might just be an artist as well. because Pisces is the artist too. So you might work in an artistic environment. So let's go to the 7th house. The 7th house, you guys have Aries. So when it comes to the partner that you would like to attract, or the partner that would probably be best for you, it would be somebody that is very selfish. So what is selfishness? Selfishness is somebody that is not, they're not thinking of you. They're thinking of their own needs. They're thinking of their own wants and needs first before they think of yours. And the reason why you might need a partner like that is because all these situations where you're finding the balance that I just had to explain throughout your whole chart, that slows up your decision process. So this person will help you to just decide immediately and decide for yourself like that, and stop fucking having this freaking calculative ass situation. Is this fair? Is this not fair? Should I do this? Should I not do that? You need somebody like, hey, now fuck that. Let's do this right now. I don't care how you feel. So you might need somebody like that. That'll probably be the better fit for you guys. Somebody that just makes a decision like that. You might not like it at first, but you'll learn to love it because you guys get a lot done. There'll be a whole lot of fights. Or you might have friends that are like that, friends that are very selfish, and you're like, man, my friends are really selfish. I went over there to go help her, this and that, or I went over there to help dude, this and that. He's tired, change tire, this and that. This guy didn't even thank me. This some selfish motherfuckers, man. God damn. You probably feel like that about your friends. Or your friends are very passionate people. Your friends are very aggressive people. Your friends are combative people. Your friends are people that are into MMA. Your friends are people, either if they're not into MMA or sports and whatnot, they're into like weapons. They know how to use weapons very well. They probably go hunting. They probably do, or they are just people that are extremely passionate in whatever the hell it is that they do. Be a whole variety of ways. There's a lot of ways to express passion, and when you see it, you'll see it. You know what it is, because this person is like nothing exists but that. Again, it's about the self. So you might have friends that are like that. The business partners that you make, you tend to feel like that about them. You feel like everybody you run into kind of is selfish. But that's the only reason why you feel like that is because you over there is always calculating if something's fair. That's the only reason why you feel like people are selfish, because you is always calculating if something's fair, and not everybody's doing that. Doesn't mean people are selfish. People are just living their lives, man. Like, they ain't sitting there calculating all the time. So you might feel like that, or you might come off as that. That's rare, but you might come off as that in those situations. You might come off as unfair in a relationship, or you just might run into very unfair relationships. People that are extremely selfish in relationships. The point is, you can find a lover or partner that is selfish like that, but they can still be a good-natured individual. Yes, they have moments where they're like, no, fuck that, we're going to do this, but they probably do charity. They probably are helpful people and loving people regardless of that nature of them. And nobody's perfect. So that's the key, man. Don't just settle for any selfish person. So I was gonna cursing, and I cursed too many times in this video. Libra ascendant mind, I like that. You guys are more about pleasure and pleasant nature and pleasant talking, probably, but whatever. Get over it. Let's go to the 8th house. You guys have Taurus, I believe, right? Is it Taurus? Yeah, Taurus in the 8th house. So with Taurus in the 8th house, when it comes to sex, man, you guys are very possessive when it comes to sex. You guys are can be very possessive of your partners. Taurus doesn't like to be in the 8th house, though. It's either A, you guys are very possessive of your partners, or your partners are very possessive of you. What came to mind is, that booty is mine. You run into partners that they think your ass belong to them. Again, let's go back to the 7th house. Having selfish freaking partners, selfish people around you. Like, your partner thinks that butt is theirs, that your booty is theirs. And Libra rules the butt, so that's why I just threw that joke in there. But so you're running into partners that are either extremely possessive over you or you are extremely possessive over them. In sex, sex is very not aggressive, but very sensual and very y'all sex is real, like, I don't know, you guys really like Taurus and Scorpio is like the sex, those are the sex signs. So you guys know a lot about sex and you guys are very into it. Like, you guys really, really, not that everybody else ain't into it, but you guys, I put y'all top tier. Scorpio and Taurus, top tier sex type of zodiac signs. So sex is very, very important to you. It's very, very important to your partner. Now let's move away from sex. Let's talk about the other things that deal with Scorpio, which is transformation, life and death. What else? Other people's possessions. So you guys might receive possessions from a motherly type figure, or you guys might receive possessions from your younger sister, because Taurus is feminine energy, so that means it could be an older woman, but it's also the younger energy of Venus, so that means it could be a little sister. The elder version of Venus is Libra, actually. So, but I'm just throwing in the older woman because it's still Venus energy anyway. Women is Venus energy. So you might receive possessions from your younger sister, or you give possessions to your younger sister. So let's see what else. What else can I say about this? I think that's all I'm gonna say. When it comes to like transformation, you have the ability to transform somebody's financial status, or you've run into people that have had the ability to transform your financial status. You guys might fuck for money. You might fuck a guy, if you're a girl, you might fuck guys to get money out of them. This has like a prostitution type vibe to it too. Because like I said, possessive guys, possessive people, possessive over your ass, basically. Prostitution, pimps and prostitutes. Or you're probably surrounded by that. You probably have pimps and prostitutes in your family and whatnot. You just, somehow you're dealing with this type of energy there. But in Scorpio and Taurus, can be abusive type energies too, just in a different way. But let me go to the ninth house. The ninth house, you guys have Gemini in the ninth house. So Gemini doesn't want to be here as well. There's a theme in your chart. None of the signs like to be, because everything's backwards. So but again, the key is to find the balance, right? That's why you've been given this path to find the balance in life. So you've been given the odd chart of the extremes so that you can find a balance. So what Gemini does in this house is it makes you somebody that is more about knowledge rather than philosophy. For the most part, you would prefer to express yourself in a more knowledgeable way rather than in a philosophical way. Or you get confused about these things. You get confused about, should I use philosophy or should I use knowledge? But I think to me it makes you. We have a scientist / mathematician in the house of philosophy and unknowns and impossible, potential, limitless, potentialities and whatnot, and even artistry. The scientist there is trying to freaking make sense out of it, and he's like, what the hell? I gotta make sense out of all this. I just know these facts, but none of this makes any sense. You guys probably go really far when it comes to your school, but there's no depth to it. Like, you guys probably have a lot of information and have probably, gone really far in school and did all that, and you felt like you did it for no reason because there was no depth. And you feel like you went through school, graduated, and you didn't even do it for yourself, really. You just did it to please other people. You have all this knowledge, but there's no real depth to it. There's no real reason why you got it. You You just got it just for the sake. And I guess that you're here to learn that now that you have that knowledge, it's time to gain experiences so that it means something. But when it comes to traveling, you guys probably like to travel. You probably don't like to travel very far. You guys probably like to travel more close, travel in the city more. But if you do travel far, I would say you guys travel to places that have to like poetry clubs, what else? Libraries. You might travel to go see a library, or any place of knowledge. You might travel for school. That'll be the reason for you to travel long distances. What else? You guys might be seen as extremely gifted people with their hands as well, and extremely wise when it comes to the things that you guys can do with your hands. Extremely skillful people here as well. So let me go to the 10th house. So the 10th house, you guys have Cancer. All right, so the Cancer in the 10th house, Cancer doesn't like to be in the 10th house because Cancer it's not about the status, it's more about the home and about the emotions and all that. But it goes hand in hand. So when it comes to your status, you guys are perceived to be very loving and soft people in the public eye. Very nurturing and loving and kind people in the public eye. And how you feel that you've made it is when you feel like you have a family and you have the white picket fence. That's how that will make you feel like you made it. You just have all the comforts in life. That's what's going to make you feel like you made it in life. When it comes to like your career, you guys, as a career, you guys want to be home decorators. You want to be anything that has to do with taking care of the home and being seen as somebody, real estate, being seen as somebody that sells beautiful homes or does something beautiful for their homeland. What else? Or represents their homeland in a beautiful way. Whether that's I'm creating fashion from the motherland, I'm creating fashion for my island, I'm creating fashion that represents the city that I'm from. This is what you guys want to be seen as, or you are seen as that. What else? But overall, I would say you guys aren't really too comfortable in the public eye for the most part. You guys really would rather be private with the stuff that you have acquired in your life, the accolades and all that. You're not too showy. You don't believe in being too showy. You rather just enjoy your comforts in private for the most part. Let's go to the 11th house. So in the 11th house, you guys have Cancer. Now we got Leo. So with Leo in the 11th house, Leo doesn't want to be in the 11th house because it's about groups and organizations. It's about community. Leo is about being self-centered. It's not about being selfish, but self-centered, meaning they want things to revolve around them. It's not really, I don't want to be about. So when it comes to groups and organizations, you feel a sense of imbalancedness there because people might use you. When you join a group and organization, people say, oh, this is a nice Libra ascendant person. We can get him to do this. We can get her to do that. And we can get her to do that. And you got all these fucking people in the community pulling and tugging at you left and right, getting them to do this, getting them to do that. Or, hey, can you listen to my conversation even though I'm a boring ass person? Blah, 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 blah. It's like all this shit is going on. And you're like, God damn, I need to be like, I just want to be to myself right now. Like, why every time I go around this many people, they think that I should just kiss their ass or be around them 24/7, listen to their problems, this and that. Just what is wrong? What is about my face that tells you that you can use me? So you got Leo there to learn to be more self-centered. because you're probably running, and like when it comes to groups and organizations in the group, you slowly but surely, as we travel through your chart, you slowly but surely realize that people actually is taking advantage of you. And that's why Leo has shown up here. It's to teach you more and more about how to be more self-centered, because that is balance. Like, people gonna be talking about themselves, you're gonna have to cut them off mid-sentence, be like, they can talk about themselves for damn near 30 minutes straight. You gotta cut them off and be like, I don't know, change the conversation somehow and be like, yeah, let's talk about me now, because we done talked about you for 30 minutes. Shut the hell up. You know what I'm saying? But do it in that kind, sweet Libra style that you guys have. Slowly edge the conversation back to you, because you can't be sitting there all day listening to other people talk. So that's why you have Leo there. The groups and organizations you join are also probably really creative, full of very dramatic people. You probably join groups that are full of the artists, singers, dancers, performers, super dramatic people. Really dramatic people, really passionate people. Or you are that passionate, super creative individual in these groups and organizations that you are part of. Theater, band, you know, there's like a drum solo, whatever. If you play the instruments and there's like a drum solo, you are the main one just making a show out of it. And you put on a show for people. That's either you or you are a part of groups that are flamboyant and out there like that. So, all right, so in the come full circle back to the 12th house, you guys have Virgo there. You're very highly critical and highly calculating, and subconsciously speaking, you're always checks and balances, trying to figure out if something's fair or not. Something's right. Is this right? Is this realistic? Does this make sense? Can this be used? Is everything that this guy's saying to me in this freaking video about my Libra ascendant, is this useful?